Hi everyone, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. I have one last favorite book that I decided to make a page for in my reading journal. This is a historical fiction World War II book called The Winter Orphans. Now, if you've been around a while, you know that this is one of my favorite genres, probably tied with romance. I just absolutely love these stories and the stories of resilience and strength during such a horrific time. So I'm going to keep this spread pretty simple because I have a lot to write. So I used my gray washi tape as kind of the foundation for my little forest to rest on. I then grabbed a December Daily stamp set, which is a scrapbook stamp set from Ali Edwards, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp a few different trees in different colors, gray and a sepia, and then also a brown. One of the trees is just like a triangle shape with some stars, and I liked that one because it just allowed me to give a little bit more of stamping to the forest, give another color to the forest, but allow me to space out the trees a little bit more. Now the tree on the left-hand side has like a gap between it. It didn't get some ink on it, but oh well, that's okay. I can just stamp something else on it as well and it'll be fine. I just really love how those trees came out. It's just such a good representation of the book because the book is all about traveling through the Swiss mountains. It's like borders France and Switzerland. So it's a great representation of that. So I also add in some black dots. It's like a scattering of the black dots. I thought that that worked well because there's snow on the cover. So it works well for the scenery. And once I have those done, I wanted to add just a little bit of paper embellishments. And I have a scrapbook paper that is stars. And I also have it digitally, and I cut some of those out digitally and then grabbed the physical paper and decided to cut some out. I also wanted a few black ones, so I used one that I already had and kind of traced it on the black paper. It's going to turn out a little wonky, the black stars, but that's okay. I just needed a few just to add a little bit of visual movement around the spread, and then I can go ahead and start on my synopsis and thoughts. So I'm just cutting those out and then I will place them down. I also, when I'm making these spreads, I like to look through my stamps and see if there's any stamps that have word phrases that match with kind of the theme of the book. And I was having a little bit of trouble finding any that really went well with this spread, but I did find one that is going to go down in the bottom right, and it says, "We're always stronger together." And so I'm going to just use that stamp set or stamp phrase, and then I have my rating, which is from Syncopation Design. So just keeping it very simple, like I said, because I wound up having a lot to say about this book, and sometimes simpler spreads are fine. It still turns out to be a fantastic page about this book. So I put 2 stars up in the top right corner, a small black one that I cut out over in the bottom left. So it's looking fantastic, and I am excited to document this book, which I love. And I think you guys should totally check it out and read it because it's so good. So I'm measuring my box because I wanted to get the box kind of the same size as the other ones, but it's not going to wind up the same size, but that's okay. So again, in this box, I like to put my rating and then what the book number is out of 100 and also the genres. So my rating is obviously 5 stars. This is book 2 out of 100. And then the genres are World War II, historical. Pretty obvious, right? So I write those down and then I am going to get started on my synopsis. So this book is based on a true story of children who actually braved the rugged mountains of France to escape the Nazis. One of the main characters, Ella, is finally safe in a rundown castle that is home to many Jewish children refugees. 2 Swiss volunteers, Rosalind, I may not be saying that right, and Anna Marie, each commit to helping the children stay safe, and no matter the danger. Rosalind is a nurse in charge of the Chateau de la Hill, which is actually the real place where these orphans were kept. And she wants to find a way to help the teenagers get to safety because they are the ones at the most risk. She wants to help them to get to Switzerland. And Anne-Marie actually grew up in the rugged terrain of the Swiss mountains and is determined to also help the children navigate the terrain. Together, they are both determined to get these children to be able to escape. And it is amazing. They both come up with ways to help the kids get through the Nazi territory, and then Ella and her sister Hannah have a real chance of freedom now, and both women were actually real people, and they were awarded a medal, I think, a Medal of Honor or something like that later in 1990, I believe. So my thoughts, favorite genre again, and I just loved these strong women characters, Rosalind and Anna-Marie and Ella. I believe Ella was just a made-up character, but all of them, their strength was astounding despite all the odds stacked against them. Each of them were fighting for freedom and justice and just a chance to live. And I just had to fix a word. I think it was resilience. I was having so much trouble spelling words. But that's one of the reasons I love this genre, is because of the resilience. There's also so many different little stories that come out from World War II and what happened in World War II. And you're just like, I cannot believe that this actually happened. And people kept going. There was such amazing strength during this time. Another thing that I wrote about was about how this is another story from World War II that I had no idea about, how there was a chateau in France that housed Jewish children refugees, and Swiss volunteers helped them to escape. The atmosphere of this book was easily imaginable, and it was a beautiful the author did a wonderful job describing the different locations. And then the last thing I put is just thinking about how brave do you have to be to get on a train with fake papers in Nazi territory. You have to be the toughest kind of person to be able to do that. And that's what these women did. And it's just incredible. Okay, so the quote I have is, this man says, "Why do you call them your children? They're not yours at all." And then she says, Rosalind, she frowned, thrown off. "Well, they shouldn't be mine, should they? They all have families somewhere and parents who love them dearly. They tried to send them away to safety. They've been entrusted to me, and until they can be returned to their rightful homes, I will not let those parents down. I will protect them as my own. I will not leave." And that just pretty much sums up how tough Rosalind was and how much she stood up for the children despite how many odds were stacked against her. And so I loved this book. It was fantastic. And I am done with this spread. And I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this come together. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Have a wonderful day. Bye.